If you're looking for a simple, rich, and flavorful chicken stew you can make at home, then this one is for you. Today I'm showing you how I make my easy chicken stew. Soft, juicy chicken in a well-seasoned tomato sauce. It's beginner friendly, very delicious, and perfect with rice, yam, or plantain. So let's get started. So for this recipe, you will need garlic, ginger, onion, white pepper, and my special mix tomato sauce herbs, which include anise, coriander, cumin. Just check the description box. I'll leave the details there. And of course, you need cooking oil. I love to season and build the flavor of my stew. So for my greens, I'm using spring onion, basilic, very important, persely and celery, green bell peppers, mixed cayenne pepper, one habanero pepper. But you can decide how many habanero pepper you want depending on how hot you want it to be. Okay, for my tomato, which is the star of the day, I only use fresh tomato for my sauce. I don't use tomato paste or tomato puree. So I'm going with 1.5 kilograms of tomato. So, and then I'm going in with full chicken. Now if you notice, my chicken also has its own seasoning apart. That's because the chicken is a main part of the stew as well, so you want the chicken to be well seasoned. So for my seasoning for my chicken, I'm going in with 2 onions, ginger, and garlic. So I start by washing, chopping, and blending my tomato, which I'm going to pour in a pot without water. I blend without water because I want to have less water in this meal because tomato already contains water. I'm going to let that cook for a while I'm preparing other ingredients. So while my tomato is cooking, I'm going to clean my chicken properly, chop it into my desired size, and go in with my seasoning. For the seasoning, like you saw at the beginning, I'm going to add some salt, some Maggi cube, the onion, ginger, garlic, and also 1 tablespoon of my green mix. And then I'm just going to let that cook slowly on low heat without water because the chicken is going to produce its own water. So while my tomato is still cooking, I go ahead and blend every ingredient that I need to blend. So I just let the chicken cook for some few minutes, give and take 5 to 10 minutes, and it's going to produce its own natural juice, which is also going to be important in our stew. I'm not going to rush the tomato process because cooking process, because this is very important. And if I did not mention, I'm cooking this on medium heat. So you let the chicken cook until it becomes tender and well seasoned. I do not add water in my chicken, but if you're cooking a large quantity of stew and you want more stock, then you can go ahead and add 1 or 2 cups of water. But for this recipe, I'm not adding water. And once your chicken is ready, you can set it aside. You can choose to either deep fry it or air fry, or put it in the oven. For my recipe, I choose to put it in the oven and avoid deep frying the chicken, but also deep frying is very fine. Just do what works best for you and your household. So once you realize that your sauce has dropped, the water level has dropped and your sauce has thickened, you can now go ahead and add your ingredients. I go ahead and add my ginger, my garlic, and every other ingredient that you saw in the beginning. Give it a good stir. My heat runs from 1 to 6. Right here I am using number 4, so because I want it to cook slowly and I don't rush the process, because this is what is going to take out the sour taste of the tomato. So you just have to go in constantly, check and stir to make sure that it's not burning. But if you get the heat right, your tomato is not going to burn. Avoid your tomato for your sauce to burn, because if it burns, it's going to introduce a bitter taste into your sauce. And also introduce my oil at this point, and then I add salt and my seasoning cube to taste. At this point, you can taste it to make sure everything is okay. Cover the pot and let it simmer for 5 to 10 minutes. So I love to use fresh tomatoes for a more natural and rich flavor. Once my sauce has cooked until I can see that the oil is separating, there is less moisture, and the thickness is what I want, I go ahead and add my chicken and the chicken stock and let everything cook together so that the chicken can absorb the sauce. At this point, my stew is already looking rich, thick, and well combined. So, but for you, you can cook it longer if you want it to be thicker. But for me, this consistency is perfect. You can have this consistency with rice, with plantain, or with yam. Now, if you just want to have your stew with rice, then you can make it to be less thicker. You can go in and add a little bit of water to make it lighter. But if you want to have it with a solid side, then it's good for it to be slightly thicker and not runny. And that is it. Our simple, delicious chicken stew is ready. If you enjoyed this recipe, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more easy recipes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.